This song called Plaster Caster. It is an early Kiss classic off the Love Gun album. Whenever that came out, 74, 75, somewhere around there. Plaster Caster was a woman who was well known. She was called Cynthia Plaster Caster. Her real name was Cynthia Albritton. And she was best known for creating plaster casts of rock stars' boners. That's how she made her name. She has died at the age of 74. But she was immortalized in Plaster Caster, the Kiss song. She was like a Zappa groupie. She was from Chicago. She was a Zappa groupie way back in the day. And she got known for making plaster casts of rock star boners. Jimi Hendrix, I think, was among the most famous. She did Jello Biafra of the Dead Kennedys. It really ran the gamut.
That would be a dream job.
Well, somebody's going to...
everyone.
Somebody is going to... Poundcake. Somebody's going to have to pick up the Cynthia Plaster Caster mantle. She's 74. I don't think she's casted any plaster in a long, long time. Now, whether or not she... There was some confusion or some controversy over whether or not she did as many people as she said. Frank Zappa said that he never did the process. The guys in Kiss, who basically poked anything that moved, said that they didn't either. I find that hard to believe. But there were a handful of songs written about this woman. That's how she made her name. If you're familiar with Jim Croce, he wrote a song called 5 Short Minutes. That was about her. And a handful of bands along the way. But I think easily Kiss's Plaster Caster, not exactly subtle, but that was the most famous song about her. Now, I think that her novelty wore off a little bit once you got in. It was a company called Clone Your Bone where you could do your own, and they had another one for the ladies that I won't mention. But she moved on to doing breasts. She would do breast plaster casts.
Yeah, Meatloaf's were amazing.
Oh, my God.
His name was Robert Paulson.
His name was Robert Paulson, and he precedes her in death. She made over 100 casts, and she would take them out and display them in exhibits. I remember shortly after I came to Cleveland, she ran for mayor of Chicago. And I don't have to tell you, lost. Did not win. But there's a documentary called Plaster Caster. It's probably 20, 25 years old about her work. But her name was Cynthia Albritton. She was the Plaster Caster. She died at the age of 74. No more plaster casting. She said she was just a shy, goofy girl that wanted to start getting laid by rock stars.
She's plaster casting God's boner now.
Like that pause. Get back in the radio mode after
It's a little tricky.
God's
It's in there somewhere.
Boner.
Yeah, she had a lengthy illness. No stranger to length. But she was... In full disclosure, I thought this woman died a while ago, but she died on Thursday. Speaking of, the song Plaster Caster is off of the Love Gun album, and one of Bill's favorite bands, if not his favorite band, Coheed and Cambria, has done a very pretentious cover of Love Gun in anticipation of their new album with a similarly pretentious name. These guys are, and I don't dislike Coheed and Cambria, but if you're looking for old
brief names.
If you're looking for old prog rocky kind of vibe, they're keeping it going. Mm-hmm. They've got a new album coming out called Vaxis 2, A Window of the Waking Mind, which is easily one of their shortest album titles. That'll be out on the 27th of May, but they did an acoustic version of Love Gun. The worst thing I've ever heard in my life. entirely unnecessary, but it's, you know, these guys, you know, name a rock band that was not in some way influenced by Kiss. And there it is. But
it's a good way to get some people paying attention to your new album.
Of course. The new album, Vaxis 2, A Window of the Waking Mind. And they've released a new game, by the way. You might want to download this one, Bill, to get people all bonered up. For the new album, they got a game there where you take control of Creature and Sister Spider in order to save their blah, blah, blah. It's a whole thing.
Is it in the App Store?
I have no idea. It's probably in the Coheed and Cambria store. But they do good work. I will say that. They had a song called Shoulders not long ago.
That's a great song.
Yeah, they do good work.
That'll be on the new album. That was the first single, and they released it last year, and it's actually played. And I was in shock because I was at the Browns home opener last year, and they played that right before kickoff, and I'm like, they're playing Coheed before a Browns game, which didn't seem like, you know.
Well, I think their music is very cinematic, though. I think it lends itself to dramatic events.
The whole thing is like that song has a line. It's like, I hope you enjoy the show kind of thing. So,
Nerd alert! Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
So, yeah, that whole thing. Guardians play tonight. I don't want to bury the lead there. 9:38 is the first pitch.
You see those Yankee fans throwing trash at him?
Quan, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the one who was down? Did he get hurt?
I don't think he didn't get hurt super bad. I don't think. I just saw them throwing trash, and then,
that was after a win.
Yeah.
The Yankees
they
Yankees
walk
beat
out,
the Guardians,
and then they were just, you know, they're garbage fans.
I thought
Literally.
they were throwing stuff at him after he hit the wall or whatever. My boyfriend's dad was telling us about it, that Quan was out, hit the wall, fell, and then Yankees fans were like throwing garbage at him.
But
and
it
talking
was
smack.
as the game ended because
that was
won.
the game ending. Okay, that I didn't
believe.
know. Yeah.
I believe. I didn't see it live. I just saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, I heard Stansbury talking about it earlier, and he alluded to one of the Guardians players was yelling at a Yankees fan defending one of his teammates or something.
That's what I thought it was. That Quan
Miles,
was down.
Miles Straw jumped up there.
Was climbing the wall.
Yeah, he climbed the wall like with one hand, and he's just like, you guys are out of line, and just, you know, and they were. They absolutely were. And once they start throwing stuff, they should be banned from the stadium forever.
Wisely, he didn't throw anything back at him, but they continued to throw stuff at him. And he's like, yeah, big guy, you want to talk tough from up there and throw stuff. Unbelievable. But what a way to end a day and a ball game. Well, the good news is there's enough video to find out who the clowns were that were throwing stuff. Hopefully, they're never allowed back here to watch a game again. Hit an umpire with something? I mean, come on, people.
Did somebody get hurt? Did they hit?
Nobody got hurt, but
Well, then what's the problem?
you can't throw
It's
stuff.
New York.
Act like that.
It's New York.
Yeah,
well, you
but-
know, you're not supposed to, but people do.
Right, but they should still be punished and
We're going to
banned.
go on video and find out who that is and
What,
bar
you think
that
they
person.
wouldn't do that?
No, of course they would, but I'm like, you know.
You said it's New York. That's an excuse. Oh, it's just Compton.
No,
It is. It's New York. There was a Padres fan who threw a beer can. Padres were playing the Dodgers. There's a Padres fan who threw a beer can at Cody Bellinger, who's in the outfield for the Dodgers. Threw a beer can at him after he made a catch.
That's not cool.
No, I'm not saying it's cool. I'm just saying it's funny that now the play-by-play guys are like, we're going to go to the video and find out who that is.
Well, they're not doing it themselves. He's saying there's enough video available that the officials can go and get these guys
'Cause it's
banned.
like, why
they're
would you do it?
douchebags.
Yeah, you're dirtying up the field, hitting people. Like, you don't know what disease.
That's what Poundcake Service is like. You know, there's dirt on the field now.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Field
are we
all
gonna?
tidy.
Littering.
The world is overpopulated with douchebags. Are we gonna ban them from every possible thing?
Yes.
Like, you know, douchebags spend money too.
Right, but
I
if
don't
you,
like them either, but
you
they
have
are
to-
everywhere in every direction.
But you can't have something like this happen and then not have severe consequences because
Does
that
it
just
happen again?
makes it worse.
But it will happen again.
It will happen again, but it happens a lot less when there is severe consequences.
That's like a streaker on the field. What, they're not going to do it? They're just going to let the streakers not get arrested?
They're like, oh, there's just going to be another streaker, so
Yep.
why would we do anything about
Don't
this
punish
one?
it.
Also, streaking is in no way like throwing a beer
I'm
at a
just
guy's
saying-
head. Streakers should be left entirely alone. We should be encouraging streaking. Everybody's pissing and moaning about. Now, listen, I love baseball, all right? I don't care how slow the game is. I like baseball. But everybody's whining about how boring baseball is, and then they want to ban or prosecute streakers. They should be encouraging streakers. They should be encouraging streakers on the teams. There's a guy in the outfield. Nothing's happening. This guy should be stripping and running around.
How long is that, like, jail stay? Like, you can get, like, arrested and out.
Stadium jail? Like, at the end of the game, they let you out.
Oh, it's a stadium jail? Then
I think.
Then
I
why
think they're
don't
pretty
more people do that?
severe on streakers now, though.
Well, I'm not even.
I think they are, too, and they shouldn't be.
I'm not even talking about, like.
Leave the streakers alone.
I'm not even talking about, like, streakers anymore. I'm talking about, like, people who just, like. I remember when I went to a game as a kid, there was a guy that just jumped out of the stands and ran the bases. And he wasn't naked. He just got onto the field.
Were you bummed out at that? That he wasn't naked?
No, I didn't really know what was going on because I just seen a guy walking out in handcuffs. So I was like, what happened? And he was like, oh, the guy just started running the bases.
Yeah, leave the streakers alone. Leave Benny alone! Leave the streakers alone.
There was another... And the best part of the streakers is, though, when they get tackled.
Because you're getting naked tackled.
Well, I like the naked tackle, but even like a guy running the bases when they get tackled, especially when it's a player that's just like, enough of this, and they just murder them.
Yeah.
And then you saw the security guard at the Wolves game. There's another protester because of the owner of the Wolves, and she was in the second row, and she's like, jets for the court, and that security guard had her down immediately.
I saw somebody posted he was looking at her the whole time.
Yeah,
why did she run out?
She was trying to do another
protest.
Oh, okay. Because that security guard had his eyes on her the whole time. Mm-hmm. That was a great interception.
Yeah.
She probably got a raise for that one. I mean, it's what she's supposed to do, but she was not playing. The moment she hopped up, she's like, oh, no, bitch. Like, she got her.
Not my court.
Did you see the Charles Barkley clip that was going around?
Yeah.
Where he was talking about when the guy's banging you.
What?
And
slamming their bodies up against you and they're trying to defend players.
And he's just banging and banging and banging. When a guy's banging you, you spin off of him. Those are the worst defenders to play against, actually, because if you can feel their body, come on.
18 points for Joker. Only no.
Other guys are all laughing. They can't keep it together.
Shaq is losing his mind.
Yeah, come on.
When a guy's banging you, when a guy's banging you, banging you, banging you, when a guy's banging you, banging
It is a banger.
you, banging you, when a guy's banging you, banging you, banging you.
Hey, Woody.
Alan,
Yes, sir.
how's your day, brother?
So far, so good.
Hello, Bill. Hello, Mary.
Hey,
I'm just driving back from the University of Akron. We're doing a job down there, Cody's alma mater. And,
Yep.
Driving home in the rain. You guys were talking about the lady who did the plaster cast of Rockstar's Jump.
Cynthia Plaster-Caster died, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember? It made me think of another famous groupie. Do you remember a girl named Connie Helm, by any chance?
Connie Helm? No, I remember Pamela Des Barres was the one that wrote the book about banging everybody, but no, Connie Helm?
Unless I'm crazy, which is very possible, but Connie Helm also wrote a book about being a groupie back in the day, and she was infamously the line in the song, I can't remember the name of the band, but Sweet Sweet Connie was doing her act. She had the whole show.
Oh, Connie. Yeah, Connie Hamzy was who you're thinking of.
Oh.
She was the Connie in We're an American Band by Grand Funk.
That's it. Yeah.
Sweet Sweet Connie was doing her act. Right. Imagine it's one thing if you're the Plaster-Caster, right? They do a song about you, whatever. Imagine if your name is in a song because everybody knows that you were like banging the band. Like that's where who's your grandma? Oh, my grandma is the woman that they name dropped in that song about getting, ironically, Grand Funk Railroad running a train on her.
Right, yeah. I just...
and then you die in obscurity. You die in obscurity. Like she peaked in 67 or whatever, and then you die in Little Rock, and they were like, that's the line in your obituary. Oh, she was immortalized in the Grand Funk We're an American Band because everybody poked her.
Yeah, well, hopefully she had a good life and had a good time, I guess, right?
Yeah, I don't think they ever described her act in greater detail, though.
Another thing that I'm thinking about this woman is she's got to have a book out there, because I remember hearing on something that, you know, she was a little promiscuous with rock stars, obviously, and she like name dropped all the rock stars by size.
Yeah.
And it was
It's like they say, Woody. It was a different time. A different time back then. It was something to be. I remember when David Tell used to have the show called Insomniac, and I remember one time he went to Little Rock, Arkansas, and she was on that show. The reruns might be on Comedy Central, but when he was, because that's where she lived, and so he went to see Sweet Connie, or she was part of the show or whatever. But that's who you're thinking of.
Yeah, maybe that's where I saw it. Yeah,
right.
He was name dropping about, by the inch, so to speak.
You know, Woody, before I let you go, you said you're doing some work at the University of Akron, which is, of course, inexplicably young Cody Brown's alma mater. Is there any way that in the midst of your work, if we slip to you, say, a golden engraved plaque with Poundcake's name on it, that you could work that into the structure somehow?
The roof.
You know what? if you could make a flat placard with times and dates and names on it, I could embed that in the layers of insulation.
That's what I'm saying. We need a flat placard. That's right.
It'd be a time capsule, so to speak.
Right.
Because the next people that tear this roof off 30 years from now, 25 years from now, when they remove this insulation, they will see this placard.
A flat placard. It'll say, in honor of Cody Alan Poundcake Brown, who matriculated here in 2000 whatever.
It started 2011.
2011 to 2000 question mark. And we'll put that into the insulation. All right, I'll stand by, Woody, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, pal. All right. Listen, if there's anybody in our audience who runs a flat placard company, perhaps we could have that done and get that to Woody. I think that would be a fitting tribute, because as the Ouija board has told us in the past, Poundcake will die at 35. Or was it by 35?
At 35.
He will die at 35, which places him squarely within 5 years and some change of his demise. So if we're able to get kind of a memorial placard.
Flat placard.
A flat placard. None of this bumpy placard crap.
No placard orbs.
That's right. Poundcake, your thoughts?
I'm okay with it. Flat.
Approve.
Yeah. What an ad-libber.
A real yes and right there.
Yes and. That's right. Don't fight the premise.
I graduated 2016.
2016.
Took me 5 years to graduate.
2011 to 2016. You're right. That is 5 years. I had to do some quick math on that.
Counted on my fingers.
Yep.
That's how I knew.
2016 minus 2011 equals 5. Hey, we did it. Mm-hmm.
You know,
he is a college graduate.
Cosign.
But it took you 5 years because you kind of you lightened the load coming over here, right? You kind of had to.
Yeah, I had to arrange some stuff because their senior year, like there's only a few teachers that teach certain classes, and they're only at certain times, and it conflicted with this show.
That's right.
So
it messed with his class load.
And then when I got a big load, I go put it in there. Yeah,
that's right. And that's the story of his college career. That's right.
Oh, that's a big load.
That's right.
Now it's a load of student loans, but not till August.
Yeah! Oh, that's a big load.
Oh, did they kick that can down the road again?
They said August or September. I don't remember.
Is this a new development, or this is what happened still before we left?
I was talking about it before we left.
Oh,
This is
okay.
what happened when he was checking it on the radio when we were having a conversation
because
about
I
it.
remembered-
And then he
Oh,
goes,
that's a big load.
Somebody said something, and I was like, "Oh crap! I got to start paying that again." Because I was like, "It's supposed to
It was supposed to be May.
It's supposed to be May."
And then mid-segment, mid-conversation, he's over there saying, I gotta...
Because I was late, I was like, "Oh my god, I got to send in like my pay stub and my taxes." I
Yeah,
was like, I gotta get
as
this, like-
we're talking about it, he goes, I gotta get
Not
all
in the
my
commercial
information.
break.
Not in the break. Not in the 8-minute breaks we take. As we're talking.
It was just.
I'm gonna forget this if I don't do it right now. It's not like I can write myself a note or something.
And then it popped up.
It popped up all right.
Literally the same day.
Yep, he worked it out.
And then when I got a big load, I go put it in there.
Yeah. When a guy's banging you.
Banging.
That's right. Just like Chuck says.
They know
I mean, he's just banging and banging and banging. When a guy's banging you, you spin off of him. When a guy's banging you.
I got a break.
When a guy's banging you.
Another chance for you to grab yourself $1,000, by the way. You can go fund yourself on the way at 3:30. So listen for that next keyword to do that. If you want to text in here for anything, 35199.